Yo, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way.
Yes.
And we are back for what is now season 3 of the pod.
Indeed.
And I can't lie, I didn't think we'd make it.
Hey.
Seasons.
Streets need us. That's what I hear.
Ange say season 2's
They
always
put
better.
they put up the bat signal.
Yeah. And now we're here for season 3.
Here we come. Pause.
Yeah. And if any of you watching this are Power fans, you know what season 3 and 4 look like.
The best season.
Hopefully that's back-to-back league titles for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Back-to-back pod years.
Give me all the Emmys.
Right.
Give me all the awards.
100%. Same goes for Snowfall as well. If you haven't watched Snowfall, watch Snowfall. But look, there's been a lot going on in the football world. Club World Cup matches going on. Chelsea are in the final. Madrid and PSG are currently playing. And the transfer window, which we'll be talking about today. That will be our main focus because business is happening. Season's almost here.
Yeah.
They're getting fixture dates in. They're getting times in. So we're going to talk about the business. We're going to predominantly, as always, it will be Arsenal business, but we will talk about Liverpool. We will talk about City, Chelsea, and of course Man United, because people watch this show for some laughs. So we have to talk about Man United's transfer business. But before we get into any of that, we have to talk about someone who was the first guy on the desk. I'll put him back on the desk today because we didn't realize at the time that would be his last game for Arsenal. It came as quite a shock, but Tomiyasu's contract was mutually terminated. I still remember when I asked the guy outside the Emirates for a Tomiyasu photo. He said, "Are you sure?" He looked at me like I was confused.
He didn't know.
I was like, "Yeah, I need this photo on the desk."
Man.
But before we get into talking about Tomiyasu and why we're Tomiyasu guys, right decision?
Ultimately, the right decision. Yeah, ruthless, all the rest. Like, I hear it in the sense of, like, if he's not coming back until November, December time, it's already halfway through the season. Yeah, and this is a massive year for us. He's not even going to be match ready in December. He's just coming back to, like,
that's when he starts his rehab.
Yeah, training and fitness and stuff. So by the time Tomiyasu can get any realistic game time, it's crunch time. It's like we need everybody firing at all cylinders. We need everybody to have 30 games under their belt already and all of that kind of stuff. And then if that doesn't happen and he doesn't get minutes and he's sitting on the bench and that, and then he goes into next season with like however many years left of his deal, like a year left of his deal, and it looks even bleaker for him. So ultimately, it's the right decision. I heard some stuff about the club needing like space to register players. We did it. We was trying to count how many like players we can put on the bench. None of those lists included Tomiyasu, and it was tough.
Yeah.
It was tough getting 9 people down, man. So ultimately, the right decision, a harsh one, man. And I was really like, wow. Like, I've never really seen my club move. Like, we've kept bare guys who've been injured for forever.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it was, I agree with you, it was a ruthless decision. And it's un-Arsenal-like to have made such a decision. Ultimately, I think, like you say, you've hit the nail on the head there. It's probably the right call. He's out of contract next summer. If he's not rehabbing till November, he's not back till Feb. And
what can we expect in him?
He's played 5 minutes in the last 2 years by that point.
Yeah.
So how much can we really rely on him? So, yeah, I think it's the right decision. But regardless of whether it was right or wrong to terminate his contract, it's upsetting.
It is.
Because
he's a good guy and he's a good player.
Yeah, and I don't think it was ever like kind of universally accepted, like just how Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Tomiyasu
was, and I always kind of hoped that at some point he would put in a monster season, 38 games.
Maybe
not 38 games, but 30 games, like a Ben White kind of thing. 30 games. Tomiyasu's played left back. I can see the fist pump right image back, now. Back. And it's just guys are turning around saying, well, wherever this guy plays, which I think he was, well, obviously not the fitness part, but being a 7, 8 out of 10, I think he was capable of.
I think I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like, look, for Japan, he was playing centre back. For us, he was playing full back, started off as a right back, started games as left back. His game had it, man. He got the tech. He was aerially tall. He could win the duels. But I just think it's interesting with Tomiyasu because of all the Arsenal players, that have been injury prone, I wouldn't have had Tomiyasu in my like top 5 most fragile, top 5 most likely for this to happen to.
Yeah.
And he's injury prone. He
Yeah.
got injured in his first season, second season. He's been injury prone every season. Yeah. So it's not that he's not an injury prone player. It's just that when we signed him, even after the first injury, even after the second injury, even after the 5 minutes that he played last season, I still wouldn't have had Tomiyasu's Arsenal career ending like this, or had him in like the top 5 most fragile guys that we've ever signed. I thought he was robust and sturdy, and we were asking too much of him. We had to do explosive catch, explosive
no more
run,
lung busting over.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it is kind of harsh. It is kind of sad. I do think on some level Tomiyasu must have wanted this. I think it must be tough, that's why probably you see it with Jesus. Bare guys leave the club to do rehab because you must be such a bad smell being an injured player during like the season. You know, especially when you've got a real significant injury. It must be really tough to like sit there with your teammates, the highs and the lows. Guys are celebrating big wins, some of these tough losses, and you have like zero ability to contribute. And I think that must have really affected Tommy. They sent him away. It must. You feel me?
Around Christmas when we were saying that they told me he was in Japan.
Yeah, we were like, well, what's going? He was just taking photos of hills.
Still, as at the time of recording, I don't know what injury he has.
Do you remember they wouldn't even ask about him?
Yeah.
In press conference, he wouldn't even. They'd do squad updates, and Arteta would give us updates on everybody, but Tommy, just say, you know, there was nothing to be said.
There was no update. It was just the same thing. But disappointing, man. It's always upsetting to see a player's career kind of be derailed by injuries.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when you know that they're like a top professional, doing all the right stuff. They're trying their best to get back on the pitch. And especially when they have like the quality that Tomiyasu has had, it's gonna be difficult knowing that I'm not gonna see him play at left back and lock up the best right winger in the league again.
I just think it's difficult for me to accept that Tomiyasu didn't lose his position on the pitch. Like, we got Skelly and Calafiori, and these are good players, but like if we saw some stinker games from Tomiyasu, that was like, maybe we like we did with Zinchenko, and you know, even with Tierney, we didn't really see stinker games from Tierney, but it was on someone like Zinchenko's caviar. It was just tough to see Tomiyasu lose his place without really getting a chance to fight for it. Because I'm sure with a fully fit Tomiyasu, and obviously that's a massive asterisk, that there is minutes for him still. Still, even with this like evolved, team from the first one that he joined 3 or 4 years ago, I think there's still minutes for him.
I still think a fully fit Tomiyasu is in our best back 4.
I don't know about that now. But
not fully fit.
I agree, because he has all the attributes that you would need for sure. Like, he's not gonna get beat on a 1v1 thing aerially. He's good on the ball. Like, I agree. There's a lot of people that obviously we're eulogizing Tomiyasu. Some people just won't even understand why we're eulogizing Tomiyasu. Yeah. But for sure, if you watch the Arsenal games, he had it. Yeah. We know he had it. We know what he was doing for us. And if you watch the tape, as we do sometimes, you go back and look at some of our wins, not even just like massive wins, but just any of our wins, you'd be surprised to see Tomiyasu played that game, started that game, had a significant contribution in that game.
We've seen some clips from the run-in. Not season just gone, season before. And Tomiyasu played basically every game in the run-in.
Yeah, he was a serious guy.
He scored on his last start, which was Everton, that last game of the season. But yeah, look, Tomiyasu, this might be his last time on the desk. Maybe if there's time to come back, and
it's not done for him, to be fair. It's just done for him at Arsenal.
And hopefully he goes on to have a good career. He's trying to play in the World Cup. But yeah, your time at Arsenal, I loved it, man. I loved it, and there's not much more I can say on it. I'll always love Tomiyasu because he replaced Bellerin, and he showed me personally that Arsenal Football Club can have good right backs. We don't have to just have absolutely terrible right backs who are planting trees for every win and stuff. So that's it. Thank you for your service.
100%, man. A lot of respect for Tomiyasu. We always sing his name.
Yeah. Super Tommy. But look, now for all those guys that Michael was talking about, why are you talking about Tomiyasu? That's just some scrub.
Watch your mouth.
We are here
on this pod
now, and our Arsenal transfer business. Starting off with Kepa and Zubimendi, because they have been announced. Kepa through the door. Not much to say on that. I think it's a good backup goalkeeper option for $5 million.
Yeah.
Enough said. We'll talk about doing business with Chelsea in a bit, as I'm sure you guys are expecting. And Zubimendi, who, the more I think about it, because of obviously another guy we'll talk about, Victor Gyokeres, but because of the Gyokeres bomber from Ornstein, the more I think about it, the more I don't actually think Zubimendi got the love, maybe,
that you should have got
and for that signing. I feel like it was a pretty big coup to pick up Zubimendi.
No, but 100%. As I said, look, everybody knows that there's Zubimendi fatigue announced in bare times. I think, look, there is obviously there's a larger conversation to be had about like how we receive transfer news today. You know, like Fabrizio will cook up that story like 7 times. In about 2-week period or even 2-day period. So it's kind of like when Arsenal took forever to announce him, a lot of fans had just already sort of accepted that he was done. I agree. If he came out of the blue, it would have been like Gaz would have said.
Yeah.
I think he's a hot prospect, not even prospect because he's 26 and he's a good player, but I think he's like of the players in world football that a lot of clubs wanted to take the step up. And I say of world football, like if you're one of your top 4 teams, 3 teams in your country, and you're looking to take someone who's maybe playing for a top 6, 7, 8 team in any league to see if he can make the jump. I think Zubimendi would have been up there for a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
On a lot of lists. Obviously, Madrid wanted him. Liverpool paid his release clause.
Yeah.
This time last year.
I saw Sammy Mokbel saying that Barca thought that might be the second coming or the replacement for Busquets.
Yeah. Yo, he showed himself. He showed what he can do.
Pep wanted him.
Yeah, he showed what he can do in the Europa League final. Euros final.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree with you, man. I think it's a massive coup, and obviously we need to strengthen the midfield, man. So buying a 26-year-old that goes straight into the starting lineup and that has potential to really push this team forward and obviously complements Declan Rice, as I say. Well, I was saying off air, but I think for me, my measurement of Zubimendi really is going to be how good he is on the ball. Like, we're buying him to be sort of a technical specialist, to be that guy that pushes us forward, builds up attacks from deep, X, Y, and Z, can, be press resistant, all that. And I think that's what I'm going to be judging him on. Guys are worried about him physically, whether he's an athlete or not. I don't think he's going to be a scrub athletically, but obviously the Premier League's different. But that's not necessarily what I'm going to kill him by. If he needs to be the guy to pick up the ball off Raya and Saliba and Gabriel and,
a younger, more athletic Jorginho.
Yeah, 100%.
I think your point in terms of the price as well is big because we're seeing number 6s in the last couple of years go for a lot of money. Obviously, Declan Rice, who's obviously now an 8, but went for 105 million. Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. It seems like to get that player, that number 6, you're going to have to fork out a lot of money, which is probably why a lot of clubs wanted Zubimendi because they had the release clause and whatever. And turns out Arsenal actually went there last year trying to get Zubimendi and Marino.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And Marino was the smokescreen. Although the way Marino's performed, maybe Zubimendi was the smokescreen. We'll see. And we actually just took their top striker.
Well, we've taken 3 of their players over the past couple of years. I mean, he was on
2 of them I have high hopes for.
Yeah.
Odegaard return. I'm there. I'm waiting.
But I'm looking forward. I think Zubimendi, obviously, he fills such a gap that we have. Yeah, and I think not that it doesn't matter, but I think he complements Rice well, and obviously he's played with Marino to success. So I feel like, bro, Zubimendi should really be coming and hitting the ground running.
Yeah, agreed. Especially how early he's coming.
Exactly, and the bringing him in before the preseason thing. We're not playing in the Club World Cup. Yeah, Arteta's got time. You see, when Amorim came and he's just for weeks spoke about how he's had no time with the players. It's just game after game. Yeah, Arteta's got at least 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks before the season. I don't even know when the season starts. End of August or middle of August.
16th of August.
Yeah.
Like
so he's got like
just over a month.
Yeah, he's got like 6 weeks to lay down the law, to lay down the principles, to tell guys how we're going to build up this season and all of that stuff. And whatever Arteta's saying, coming from the Basque region, should be music to Zubimendi's ears. Yeah. It should be exactly what it should be. Shouldn't you have to really say much?
Yeah.
Just come and do your thing.
And I've been saying to you off air for a while that I don't Arteta's mind, his team's not going to be complete until he gets his Spanish 6. Right? and now he's picked up the one that is the predecessor to Rodri, potentially, right? When Rodri goes out of the Spain team, Zubimendi's probably going to pick up that mantle, and we know that from things that Julian Nagelsmann says, then the number 6 is the most important position, and that's the quarterback.
Well, I'm sure every manager would agree with that.
Yeah,
or every top manager.
Yeah. Maybe not like Andrew.
Amarin
doesn't even play with one. But we'll get there. Also, I've said Kepa and Zubimendi announced. We may as well include Norgard in that. I don't know who that was, but some guy got a photo of Zubimendi.
And Berto.
Sober Realty. So Norgard through the door.
Norgard's good, man. You know, we've been big admirers of Norgard. Like you've heard it on the pod many times what we thought about Jensen and Norgard. It's like, again, you can't go overboard because he's like a £10 million sort of backup signing, but at 31 years old, prem proven, I'm not really expecting Norgard to come in and flop. I just think he's going to come in and do his job. And just be who Jensen
which
Norgard
is exactly what we need.
Just be who Christian Norgard's been his whole career. And I do like the fact that he's another club captain or another team's club captain. Yeah. Like it's not even like a Liechtensteiner type guy where he's just coming in and he was always a sideman his whole career. Yeah. Like at least he's coming in with like, I used to speak up in dressing rooms. I used to do all of this kind of stuff. I'm not gonna sort of allow this tomfoolery to happen if we're down 2-0 or someone's not tracking back.
Keep standards high.
Wherever it is.
And I think it's a good. If there are games, we already spoke about Zubimendi's athleticism. If there are games, and I'm already looking at that Newcastle away game, where we maybe need to go a bit more physical, we maybe need to match the running and the power and whatever. I think Norgard's a very, very good option to put in.
100%.
The Prem experience.
And one that you don't have to worry about. I think that's what I enjoy most about the Norgard signing is like, I'm not, if I see Norgard's name on the team sheet, I'm not like, oh, you know, what am I going to get out of this? Is my guy going to tear him to shreds? Whatever it is he going to be nervous? All of that. Norgard's seen every Premier League stadium 5 times, 6 times over, bro. You ain't worried about going anywhere. And when you was lining up with Brentford, you was hoping you could just stay in those games. Now you're lining up with a team that wants to win every one of those games.
Yeah. And I think his ability on the ball will actually show more in a team that's more.
He's got more pingers than Zubimendi. Zubimendi's gonna.
I don't know.
He's gonna get shown levels.
That's got to be Zubimendi's whole game.
I've just said that. It has to be. But maybe Christian. Maybe there's levels he hasn't been able to show because of the suffer ball. He
might show levels to other midfielders.
Lokonga, is that what you're disrespecting?
No,
I'm expecting. If I could push Lokonga's stocks, it's now. I'm buying the dip. I think Lokonga's gonna.
Hey, Man United. Amram, if you're looking for a centre midfield player, we'll do a good deal, man.
Lokonga's come into the season with the right mentality.
Yeah, apparently. Not that the Congo's not making a match day squad. Like you already said, we spoke about the subs. I'd still put Tomiyasu even with his contract terminated on the bench.
That's disrespectful.
No, come on,
Sambi,
what's Sambi? What are you still doing there, bro?
Sambi, I believe in your stocks this year. We got something for you, bro.
Him in the.
I don't know where he plays. I don't know how he comes in. I don't know who has to get injured. I want no one to get injured. But Zambi,
him and Nuno Tavares were boys. Look at what your boys doing. Bro. They're talking about him in Italy as something they've never seen before.
Yeah.
With that Smith Rowe's gone.
I don't know why Zambi has zero market value.
Yeah.
Zero market value.
Company called him the next Yaya Toure.
I don't even understand why Bournemouth should be Bournemouth are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but like it's not like Zambi doesn't have a history of not being able to play football.
Yeah.
He's come from all the right academies for a Bournemouth or a Brighton to be interested in him.
We'll see, innit? We'll see. We don't need to talk about Zambi, not yet. Let's wait to see him play some games. Hopefully not though. Gyokeres, big one. Big bomber on Sunday. And before, obviously, we got that news from Ornstein and Fabrizio. We were planning to do a pod to talk about Sesko or Gyokeres. We're both on the Gyokeres side. I'll explain for me, and then Michael can obviously say his piece. I just think that we need the win now guy, most importantly, which is Gyokeres. He's 26. He's won 2 titles. Yeah, I hear that it's in Portugal and the goals and whatever. But firstly, he's win now. He's just focused on scoring goals. I don't think he's too concerned with link-up play. And Arsenal fans that have an issue with he only scores goals. Like I don't know what
we've been
more
burying
you
your head
want.
in the sand about our problems.
Yeah, we've
for the
got
past couple
Havertz,
seasons.
we've got Marino, we've got Jesus, we've got Trossard.
How
all
much
these
more
guys
link up play do you need?
So we actually just need a guy that can score goals. And I think that Sesko at 21, I think Arteta wanted him probably because Arteta sees him as like a long-term striker and an elite talent and all of that. But I think Arteta also wanted to be able to keep Havertz in the team and tell us that Sesko's young and he's inexperienced and he needs to mollycoddle Sesko. And I wasn't here for any of that. I didn't want to hear any of that next year. I want my striker to have put the pressure on himself to bag goals.
Yeah.
I don't think
have that
Sesko
mentality coming in.
So I was a big Gyokeres guy.
Look, to be honest, I gotta be honest. At the very beginning, neither of these guys were my guys. But since it became apparent that it was going to be between the two of them, I was definitely more of a Gyokeres guy for a Sesko guy for a lot of the reasons you mentioned. The win now factor for me was big. I just think that he's less of a gamble than Sesko. And even if we're worried about the Portuguese league selling us a dud, if he scores half the goals he was scoring in the Portuguese league, in the Premier League, we're good.
Yeah.
We're Gucci. We're having a great time. We all love him. He's our gunman. I agree with you. Like, my issue with Sesko was signing Sesko for a ridiculous fee. And in 12 months' time, like sitting around saying that we still need a goal scorer, and Sesko's nice because he links up the play and the way he brings it down and dishes it out to Saka and stuff is all nice and tidy. And then we don't have a killer in the box, and we're still saying, oh, he's got to learn and adapt to his finishing and all of that kind of stuff. And I just, for me, think that would have been unforgivable. And it's the opposite to Gyokeres. If Gyokeres comes and he doesn't bag goals, it's just a flop, and there is no mincing words. Whereas I think what I like about Gyokeres is the fact that we can only judge him on the goals that he scores, man.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in Gyokeres' overall game. I hope it's somewhat decent. But if Gyokeres is the guy that takes shots off both feet, tests keepers, makes it a different problem, creates like angles of attack that we don't currently have. And there's always Havertz minutes. Like I still at Havertz. Yeah, I still don't think that Arteta's going to let Havertz go anywhere. There's always going to be Havertz minutes, and I actually like the contrast between Havertz and Gyokeres more. I don't understand having a 6'4" and a 6'8" striker. Like, well, you know, if the 6'4" guy doesn't work, you know, or the 6'8" guy doesn't work, do you move to the 6? It's just like, I don't really understand the logic behind that. So I really hope it's Gyokeres. I really hope they just get it done. I really hope we're all of, at least on this pod, all of mine that like we should be going into the season with no excuses. Yeah, of like what we can achieve or what we hope to achieve in the season. And I just feel like signing Sesko is another excuse of like, oh, well, it's an excuse embedded into the season of he needs to adjust and it's his first time playing at this league and da. Like, at least as well with Gyokeres, he's got the Coventry stint, he's got a stint at Brighton. It felt a bit more of a like, we know what we're getting for the money that we might spend.
And he's also banged goals at international level.
Yeah, Champions League.
It's not just Portuguese league. And yeah, I don't know what Leipzig are doing, asking for 90 million for a guy that scored 15 goals in the Bundesliga.
It's crazy. And
that's a ridiculous price tag.
Yeah, I mean, that is a ridiculous price tag. We've reported majority of that wanted up front.
Yeah.
They didn't even finish in the Champions League last season. They finished one of the worst teams in the group stage. They were one of the
big failures of the Champions League. But so the Gyokeres, we got the bomber from Ornstein and Fabrizio. Fabrizio told us on Sunday, here we go, could be any minute now. It's currently Wednesday at the time of recording, and there's nothing.
Yeah, I hate how they both, Ornstein and Fabrizio, is like, this can change any minute, any hour.
Yeah,
no matter
personal terms are agreed. Gyokeres is willing to put up 2 million of his own money.
They also say there was like Alberto's flown out there to do the face-to-face thing personally, and then I saw the photo of him and Cole with Notgard.
Yeah.
So is he just jetting back and forth?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I do think that there is no leg for Arsenal to stand on to not get this deal over the line.
Yeah,
like absolutely no leg. There is no rumor or like way I can spin it if we back out of this Gyokeres deal to be like, you know, unless Isak's somehow available on the market for the same price, or whatever it is, or even if it's 150 mil, I take ASAP. But like, I just feel like for how long we've deliberated, for how the reporting goes, for what we think that, you know, Leipzig want for Sesko, looking at the market, who else would you rather spend 50, 60 million?
Yeah.
Like, is there another player that you'd rather
and
spend
if there
50,
was another
60
player,
million?
that due diligence should have been done since January.
Yeah,
and we should have already known that we're in contact with them, and personal terms should already have tried to be agreed with them. There's been none of that.
Yeah.
So
it would be plan C. If this is already plan B.
Yeah.
So it would be plan C if you don't get this done. And
so Berta needs to get this one done. And this kind of ties into the next thing we'll talk about. If there's 50 million to throw at Madueke, then the Gyokeres deal should have been done yesterday.
Yeah, weeks ago.
So Madueke, which seems to be the big one, quite polarizing.
Of course.
And I do think Madueke is probably a polarizing character
and player.
Yeah. Now we've spoken about Nonzino before on this pod. We're Nonzino guys, so I'm ready. Nonzino Hive. Where we at?
It's too soon. If it's looking like an eventuality.
Yeah.
But as I say, I think my issues with the Noni transfer, one, obviously the like elephant in the room is like, how many guys can we buy from Chelsea? Yeah, how much money can we throw at Chelsea for real? There is however many clubs in professional football, however many talented players in professional football. We can't seem to look further than West London for anything else that we need. And I hear it. Kepa's a good buy, 5 mil.
And why do we always pay exactly what Chelsea want?
Yeah, there's almost never a haggle. There's almost never a and I think my thing with the Noni one is, if you go, I think it's, look, Arsenal, we know Arsenal are a deliberate club, and everything to do with the club is also about messaging, and like there's an undertone to almost everything that Arsenal does. I think if Arsenal just go and slap 50 on Noni as what the very first attacking option, I think the undertone that sends is like, all right, either we're breaded up for the summer and we've got money to spend, or we're idiots.
Yeah, we're not serious.
Or we're generally not serious. Because if I was going to go and get a Gyokeres, if I was going to go and get an Eze, if I was going to go and get a Rodrigo, if I was any one of those clubs, Real Madrid, Crystal Palace, or Sporting, I said, well, if you've got 50 mil for Noni, you must have 60, 70, or 80 mil for my player. If you value Noni as a must-have priority purchase, 50 mil, how much you needed a striker for 2 years, you needed a winger for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking for more help in midfield because you've not really found the right profiles. So I just feel like in terms of negotiating and leverage and all this kind of stuff, I just feel like all these little games that we seem to try and play in the market, haggling over pennies, even for Sesko, it seems like we was haggling. For Gyokeres, it seems like we're haggling, all this kind of stuff. To go and slap 50 on Noni at Chelsea and then try and go and do those other deals, they're going to try and take us to the cleaners. How much do you really want this guy?
Yeah.
You must want him more than you want Noni.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a small, I say a small pet peeve, but that's one of my bigger issues with the Noni thing is obviously the 50 mil is crazy. And I think the 50 mil off the bat, first offer, first sort of serious outlay that we do this summer, because we've often said up here that we think Zubimendi is part of last year's budget. Like, I just feel like that's a crazy message to send. We already know, every fan knows this is the biggest summer that we've had, you know, for a while. We need to seriously improve our starting lineup. And I was like, if you spend 50 mil on Noni and he doesn't beat Saka out for the starting right wing position, which we don't think will happen, and one of two things, either he does become our starting left winger, or he doesn't beat out who we sign as our left winger. And then it's like, well, why did we slap 50 mil on Noni? Because he can be a good. It's nothing about Noni personally. I agree, he's a good player.
Yeah.
But if we're gonna outlay 50 mil on someone, we need to have a clear idea of their place in the team and the deliverables we're gonna get from them. And
100%.
I just feel like it becomes grey water.
Yeah. And I also think that paying 50 for Noni and that being the first one that comes through the door, like you said that you would allow Berta. This Noni one is the one you'll allow Berta to take the absolute piss on.
Yeah, of course. Start with 15 plus 5.
But Noni, the Chelsea guy, is the one that we don't take any chances with. This one has to come, right? We'll go to Sporting and we'll start the offer at 50. Yeah, we apparently still haven't agreed a price tag with Sporting. Yeah, when we're only like 5 million euros off or whatever. We'll go to Leipzig for Arteta's #1 guy, if what we read is true, and we won't put the money up for him. But for Noni,
money's there.
we'll just go straight away.
Here's the briefcase.
We don't need to take the piss with a 30 or a 20 plus 10 or whatever. We'll just go straight with 50. Which annoys me a lot. But my entire judgment on Noni, yeah, the price tag is wrong. Yeah, we pay 50 million above, anything like that. It's not been a good move. Yeah, but my judgment on the entirety of the window, because at the moment a lot of Arsenal fans are crashing out. I can't give my judgment until the end because if you bring Eze and you bring Gyokeres, and Noni is a supplement to that. I was saying at the start of the window, I don't think we'll bring in 3 forward players.
Yeah.
I think we'll only bring in 2, but I want 3.
Yeah.
Right. So if they've then brought 3, and 2 of them are Gyokeres and Eze, I can somewhat get on board with Noni, the signing as a player, but I won't be on board with the price tag at any point.
I agree that like you don't want to crash out too early because if Noni just ends up being, as you say, 1 of 3 between Gyokeres and Eze, or even potentially 1 of 4 between Gyokeres, Eze, and somebody else, they match Noni with like another 30-40 million pound player who's decent and adds to the squad and whatever it is. Then it's calm. But start with the priorities then.
Yeah.
Start with Eze. Start with Gyokeres.
Yeah.
You know? And as well, I just find a lot of the transfer strategy a little bit weird of like, obviously we never know what's real and what's not, but like trying to deal with Crystal Palace under the release clause, but then again, as you say, having 50 mil ready for Eze.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I don't think Crystal Palace are under any obligation.
We'll take the piss with Eze.
Crystal Palace, and you shouldn't even try. Like Crystal Palace have just had their best year ever. We shouldn't even try to sort of like, underhand them and try and get them to deal Eze for under his release clause. Just pay the release clause and get it done. The Crystal Palace are not standing in anybody's way. They've sort of welcomed other clubs and said, if you want to pay his release clause, he's there for you.
Yeah.
But to come to them and say, oh, can we do it for X, Y, and Z price? Yeah. And have the 50 mil for Noni just because Chelsea say that it's going to cost you 50.
Yeah.
It just makes things a little bit strange. And I really do wonder. Like, I trust Arteta in terms of his ability to develop players and turn them into good players. But I am tired of fighting uphill battles of reasons as to why we have to sign such and such player. Like, can it just make sense? Can we all, every Arsenal fan, every casual, non-casual, whatever, at this point knows what Arsenal are missing. So for Arsenal to do a dance as such to get everything else but what we're missing.
Yeah.
Like, we've done that for 2 years now. At what point do we just say enough is enough?
At this point, now. Right? Because I'm not fighting any battles for Madueke. Yeah. The only battle I will fight for Madueke is in discussions about him as a player and his quality.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys, they Twitter and guys I know like to call him Madueke.
Yeah.
Like call him a scrub, and the hashtag's been trending today. Say no to Madueke.
Yes, stop Madueke. I was seeing
right. They're calling him a scrub and stuff, and I'll debate with guys about that because I think Noni's a good player, and I think I've been saying that even when he's at Chelsea. Yeah, there are times when I come away from games and I say to Michael, I think Noni might be their best player, better than Cole Palmer. Yeah. And that's tongue in cheek, right? But I think Noni's a good winger. But the price tag and the deal and everything else around it is the biggest problem. So I'm not going to fight any battles on. I'm not going to make any case that Arsenal should pay 50 million for Noni.
It really is one of the most baffling for me. Like, is he 50 million pounds better than Ethan? No. Is he worth taking minutes off Ethan? Does he get over Martinelli? I think Noni can be a good winger, but does he actually get over Martinelli as a left winger?
Yeah.
Like, for sure, he can be a better winger than Martinelli, but we know Saka's a lock on the right. No Arsenal fan is trying to see Saka shifted out. And I hear it, I was saying that Arteta's petrified of starting the season without a Saka backup. Petrified. Yeah. Which is fair. Obviously, we saw what happened to us last season. Yeah. And if Saka maybe does get injured again, we could be proven that Nani was a massive coup for us.
And also
but
on the flip side, a lot of Arsenal fans have been crying out for that a Saka backup.
so Saka can get his minutes shared. But and look, maybe Sterling is like a cautionary tale. Arteta's like, don't give me a bandage, fix my arm's broken here, fix that. So maybe there is a little bit of that, but as I say, I think to really judge it was gonna have to come down to how we spend the other money. But even still, it kind of smells like a shit deal from the beginning. Yeah. So if it ends up being a shit deal, there is nowhere to hide.
Yeah, writing was on the wall.
It was on the wall. Every fan was questioning it to begin with. We didn't understand where he really fits into the team. And as I say, I'll say it again, like 50 mil is a lot of money for someone to not get significant amount of game time. It's not that Noni won't get significant amount of game time, but if he's not going to replace Saka in the starting lineup and he's potentially not better than the new left winger or even better than Martinelli at playing left wing, then why did we spend 50 mil on it? Surely, can we have got someone else who was 20 mil, who was 30 mil, who could have just done a job-ish on the left wing and been a Saka backup if needed on the right wing?
Yeah.
To go and slap 50 mil on that. And also, I mean, it stinks. Like, Chelsea's willingness to sell us all these guys as well should be another red flag. And I know that Chelsea have obviously did just bring players in. Pedro's balling, all this kind of stuff, But at some point, our strategy for 5 years, our strategy couldn't have been to pick players off from Chelsea every year. Couldn't have been that.
Yeah. And another thing that annoys me, is when guys like Ornstein and Fabrizio come out saying relations between the two clubs are excellent.
Yeah, fantastic.
So good. Like,
it's not so.
And I've been saying this for a minute. Like, Arsenal and Chelsea are not rivals. We're just not rivals. Like, we do too much business together. Too much. Yeah, Arsenal and Tottenham don't sell players to each other. Man United and Liverpool don't sell players to each other.
Tottenham and Chelsea don't sell players to each other.
Daniel Levy never does business with Chelsea. Right? Those kind of Everton and Liverpool. But Arsenal and Chelsea, we share way, way too many players to be rivals.
I just can't imagine it being an honest-to-God game plan on the wall. Like, at the end, when the meetings are being had, everybody's like, we must get this Chelsea guy. We must get this Chelsea guy.
That's why I think it has to be coming from Arteta about how much he wants this guy.
And I do hear, as much as I agree that Noni's a good player, I do hear the Pepe comparisons, and they're not the same entirely. But Arteta chased out Pepe with a broomstick, a rake, a pitchfork.
He did give Pepe a chance. You always say that. He gives guys
He gives everybody a chance, and he was right to chase out Pepe. Yeah. He was. Yeah, we knew Pepe wasn't going to download the defensive package and awareness that Arteta needed in his team. But I don't think that that's Noni's game either.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's Noni's game either. And Pepe got to 10. So that is the bare minimum.
It's also not Eze's game,
he got to 10. It is an Eze's game. But I don't think we're buying Eze to be that. And also, as I say, Eze, I have no doubts Eze gets to 10.
Yeah.
If we're going to... We spent 72 on Pepe. He got to 10 under you, Arteta, in his best ever season at the club. Yeah, if we're going to be spending 50 and such on Noni, we've got to see that kind of outlay. Sorry, that kind of production.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's like, why have you chased out a Pepe to sign maybe a potentially worse version of him for 3/4 of the price? And we never got Pepe out of his contract.
Yeah.
You know, so it's interesting, man, with Arteta's sort of job on the line or head on the line. He's like Teflon Don, bro. He moves like there is no pressure.
Yeah.
He moves like this season is like almost okay to gamble with.
Yeah. Ghost.
Yeah. He's moving like I can make these big gambles.
Yeah.
Because it don't matter or it's always going to work out for me. I don't know what.
We still need to kill the Jimenez.
Yeah. I'm nervous, man. But I really am nervous.
My last thing on this, I know guys probably tuning into this podcast because they want to hear Arsenal fans crash out. And we might have only done that slightly. But if that's what you're here for, and Eze is not an Arsenal player
by the end of this window. There'll be 100%.
It could be a generational episode.
Yeah. We'll set
a generational crash.
We'll give you a heads up. We'll let you know.
There'll be real conversations about what's going on at Arsenal at every level.
Yeah.
And we'll ultimately come back to the conclusion that we're just not a serious football club.
And the funny thing about that is, like, it's not that Noni's got bad relations with Arsenal players, but we know Eze is direct boys with Rice and Saka, and he's got zero issues. They're friends. We've got insiders that would vouch for him every step of the way. Arteta would have had to have ignored all of that. Berta ignored all of that to force Noni in the door.
Yeah.
To then look him in the face and be like, yeah, by the way, we're not going to get Eze. Because...
Yeah.
And they'll be like, but I told, when we sat down for half an hour and spoke about how good Eze is as a football player, what did you hear?
Did you even listen?
You were just thinking about Noni.
Yeah. But I will say this, as of right now, I do think, that I do think we'll sign Eze, but even if it's not Eze, I do think we will bring in another forward option. From as much as Ornstein's told us about Eze being different or another option to the striker and the winger. So I do think we'll bring in 3 forward players. And now ultimately we're just waiting on the Eze bomber, because the Eze bomber will...
Yeah, that moves the whole fan base.
And honestly, I'm not sure anyone, even Arsenal fans, are more in need of that bomber than Madueke right now. Because guys are saying, we know Madueke's on socials.
You seen it?
You seen
Arsenal have seen it.
100% Arsenal have seen it. And Arsenal actually, like, we'll clown them later on in the episode, but they actually need to move a bit like Man United with this transfer. When Man United are linked with a player and Fabrizio or someone puts it out there and the United fans gather together, no, we're 100% against this. United take the offer back. They rescind. They listen to the fans, right? And they realize, okay, this is absolutely a no-go. We can't do this. Arsenal need to take a leaf out of their book. Look at what's going on, right? Everybody, every single Arsenal fan is against this transfer at this price. But look, enough said. And just to clarify, there's nothing on Noni.
Exactly. I don't think I can't say any Arsenal player, sorry, but I don't think many Arsenal fans really think that he's like as bad as the reaction is.
Yeah.
I just think it's a lot of the buying from Chelsea stuff, not really having confirmation over who our striker is going to be or what's happening with Eze. But what we do know for sure is that there's 50 million on the table for Noni.
Yeah.
And that is frustrating.
Gyokeres isn't here, and Eze's not here.
That is frustrating. How can that not be frustrating?
100%. So hopefully by the next time you see us, we'll have Gyokeres. We'll probably have Noni, right? And we'll be in very advanced negotiations for Eze, right? But we'll move it on. That's enough on Arsenal. So the transfer record, was it broken?
Yeah,
it was broken. Yeah.
Even if it wasn't, on this pod, it's been broken.
yeah. So for Florian Wirtz, fuck it, I'll give it in dollars. $150 million.
Crazy,
right? Liverpool have got their man, the guy that they wanted. Florian Wirtz only wanted Liverpool. With Bayern interested. Now, if you guys will remember when we were doing our Euros, I think we both had Florian Wirtz in our top 5 players to watch.
Yeah, he was balling.
We know Florian Wirtz is a good player. I've described him in the Bayer Leverkusen team as like the crown jewel. So this isn't a discussion on his quality. We know his quality, but it's got to translate. Yeah. And even if you think it does translate, how well does it translate? Right. What I'm going to ask you is pressure on Wirtz.
Bro,
how quickly will Wirtz be on fraudwatch?
Bro, bear in mind, if anybody ever costs 100 mil guaranteed, there's pressure on you. No, you can't escape that. Wirtz is on fraudwatch from day one. He's on 007 watch from day dot. Yeah, that timer starts now. And if no other fan wants to start it, I'll start it.
Yeah.
The hell? You can't come from 100 mil and guys can say you've got time to bed in and you've got this and you've got that.
First season in the Prem.
None of that, bro. You cost 100 mil.
100%.
Guys had that for Caicedo and stuff. He had it for Rice. These are DMs.
Guys still say Rice wasn't worth that.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So anybody that comes in for that price, anybody that commands that much money, anybody that has a saga, and it wasn't even like a crazy saga, but a saga the way it was, you know, it took like the whole month of June. Eyes are on you, pressure's on you. Liverpool have just won the league. You need to be in the bare minimum in a title fight. You can't win the league, sign $150 million player, and then be even worse than you were the season afterwards. You know that guys will put that on you. We just clowned Mbappe.
Yep,
We
agreed.
just clowned Mbappe. Whether or not that was all on him, it doesn't matter.
Even from winning the league is obviously a team thing, team perspective. From an individual perspective on Florian Wirtz, you're going to need to. We're talking about paying 50 million for Madueke, and we need to see his numbers in double-digit goals to justify that.
That's a
so Florian Wirtz, if you score less than 10 goals,
the numbers need to be. I have a friend that jokes that he needs to see 30 goals and 30 assists by December from Florian Wirtz for the money that they've paid for him and the wages that they've slapped him on reportedly, all that kind of stuff. I think my question about Florian Wirtz is, where does he play?
Yeah,
where does he play? Like I speak to guys, and everybody's got a different answer. Guys tell me in midfield he replaces Szoboszlai. Guys tell me he's a false nine. Guys tell me he's a winger. Yeah, I don't know where he plays. Personally, myself, I can see the false nine thing. Like he's not really a false nine just because they've got Salah as the main goal scorer, but he's a false nine in the sense of he's not in midfield the way Szoboszlai, McAllister, and Gravenberch will be, but he just connects. He picks it off Szoboszlai because he doesn't get goals and assists, and he gives it to Salah. And
yeah, but I feel like very quickly Florian Wirtz will realize that he doesn't want to play as a false nine in the Premier League.
Calvin Bassey and those guys when they
Van Hecker. But I look, it's my personal opinion. Yeah, you spend 100 plus million on a player, you play him in his best position. Yeah, now
10.
Florian Wirtz could be a guy that plays well in multiple positions, but he played as a 10 primarily for Bayer Leverkusen, and as much as we might see him play games on the left, I would, if I was a Liverpool fan, if I was Onslaught, I'd play him predominantly as a number 10. Now, if that is to replace Szoboszlai, obviously he's a better player than Szoboszlai, but Szoboszlai has a lot of strengths that Florian Wirtz doesn't have.
Yeah, Premier League like
engine, physicality,
engine for days, not just engine.
Yeah, right. And now if your midfield is McAllister and Wirtz in there,
it's kind of soft.
Gravenberch behind this, it's going to be interesting. But look, he's a good player. At the moment, I'll say that's a good signing for Liverpool. Regardless of the price tag, you've moved like a big club. That's the guy you wanted. You went and got it done. Right? Money paid, wages paid. He's your player. So fair enough.
I'm always kind of torn. Like I admit, I see the logic in grabbing a Luka Doncic, like grabbing a once in a every decade player that Wirtz could potentially be, regardless of even if you have a clear plan of where he fits in. If he's available on the market and saying he wants to come, you go out and you get him and you base your franchise around him moving forward. You just figure it out later. Yeah. So I do hear that. But obviously on the short term, like as in for this season coming up, I think there could be some pain. The system should still be engineered to feed Salah and feed Salah's goals. And the way they currently play does that. And I think it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Taking out a Szoboszlai piece, even though you think it's inconsequential because he doesn't get goals and assists. But if it will be, and all these other guys have that much more space in midfield, there's that much more of an overload in midfield because someone's not able to track back or physically can't keep up with the pace. All of a sudden, those times when Arsenal was stumbling, you start stumbling and you start seeing draws and you start seeing, defeats when you're hoping to sort of break away from teams.
Yeah.
And it can really be like that with the margins in the Premier League, man.
Yeah.
So I will watch that closely. And I also think, I'm not going to lie with Liverpool, man, just wrapping it up, like Liverpool are in a really interesting space for me because I think Diaz wants out. Yeah, I think Diaz wants to go somewhere, and I don't think they can afford to lose Diaz. I think after Salah, he's the most dead cert sort of forward that they have, bar Wirtz, who's, I don't know, forward or midfielder.
Yeah.
So Diaz, it looks like Diaz is trying to go somewhere. It looks like he wants a bigger contract. He knows that this is his time now, type vibes. So if Diaz goes, you got to get someone. Even if Diaz stays, I feel like you've got to get someone because I don't know if there's enough there. And then I also feel like you need a central defender. Konate is on something. He's if we're reading reports, he's not happy signing deals. Guys are offering him big money.
Madrid fans are saying Barca have La Masia and we have Liverpool.
So even if Konate stays, I think you need a central defender because Konate is in and out. Yeah, and you've already sold Kwanzaa for 30 mil. but you already spent 200 mil because you've got Wirtz, Gyokeres, and Frimpong.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you sell Diaz, maybe you get another forward and a defender, but
Well, I think they might end up selling Diaz and Nunez.
They might need to be able to cover both positions,
Yeah.
man. And then if that does happen, that's a new Liverpool. If Liverpool end up spending like 250, 300 mil in this window.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Liverpool club move like that. Yeah. 300 mil in a window.
Well, I mean, they basically spent what we spent last year.
Already.
No, because they didn't sign anyone last year.
Yeah.
And we brought in Calafiori and Marino, but we in terms of player sales, we were even.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so if Liverpool, they might have money in the bank to go and spend, but they have spent on Frimpong and Gyokeres as well.
Good players in positions they needed to upgrade.
Gyokeres for sure. I'm waiting to see.
It's questions on Frimpong.
I need to see
the
guy.
Maybe he's the
a wing back. Right? So let's see what I go on when he has to come up. There's a lot of tricky wingers in the league, but Gyokeres, we know we've spoken about before. Gyokeres is
PSG are a super team, man.
And 4-0.
PSG are a super team. Offside.
They are a super team. Man City, quickly. They brought in Reinders, who I don't know if we've spoken about on the pod before, but we're fans of Reinders, not anymore. But Reinders is a good player, operates in every phase. Take phase 1 to phase 2, phase 2 to phase 3, and so on. Cherky, for I guess a bit of end product of being able to break down the low blocks, and Nate Nuri probably for the same reason.
Look, I think City, it's tough and I just think City are going to buy players until the very last day of the window without repercussions.
They're not done.
So the guys that they've brought in are good because they needed guys in. I agree that, like, I don't know if City are still that defensive monster that they used to be. I feel like, not that they're going to lose as many games as they did last year, but like defensively, you can still maybe get at them a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think my biggest thing with City is if they get rid of this Nico Gonzalez guy, I just feel like I'm done. Maybe wrap it all up.
Do you see Pep came out and said he's a mini Rodri?
Let me just wrap it.
Guys were like, well, this means nothing because Pep will say this and sell him.
Wrap it up. If City can spend 60 mil in Jan on a guy and sell him in August, in July,
probably for 50 mil.
Wrap it up. What can we do? There's not. How can you compete versus that?
Well, it's wait to be seen. On Nate Nuri, quickly, I was having a conversation the other day, and I was saying I don't actually think Nuri is going to start that many games at left back. Because I still think Pep wants that Gavardio piece there. What's your take on it?
I don't think he'll start that many games at left back as well. I do think Nuri is. I honestly, I think Pep is gonna OD on being Pep next season.
Yeah,
I think there's gonna be a lot of like positionless players. I'm gonna see team sheets of like Rodri, Kovacic, Nuri, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Marmoush, and Doku. And I'm gonna be like, well, who's playing where? And it's just gonna be a mix and match. And Nuri, he's playing 10, but then he's also left wing, but then he's also right wing back because he can cut in on his left foot and
yeah.
So I agree that Nuri, Pep's not brought him, I think, to be
his left back.
Yeah, a bog standard traditional left back. And even at Wolves, Nuri wasn't that. And Wolves is one of the most frigid teams in the country. So if you have a free roam position at Wolves, you must have something about you.
100%. Chelsea, we can do this quickly. Gittins, Delap, João Pedro. João Pedro scored a brace the other day.
They were bangers.
Good goals. João Pedro's a good player. We know that.
I think Chelsea are another City they will buy to their very last day. I think for me, what's interesting about Chelsea is really the players that stay. Jackson, you can tell the pressure's already getting to Jackson. The pressure's already getting to Jackson.
Jackson's an interesting one.
I said it. Oh no, I didn't say it in here, but when they started to do, they announced that they were going to do like substitution interviews. Like, speak. And guys were like, "Who do you think is going to be the first people?" One of my very first answers was Jackson.
Yeah,
I think Jackson's going to put the ball wide, 50th minute, immediate sub off.
Yeah,
because he's got the lap, he's got Pedro.
Yeah.
Jackson. So
interview.
What did you think? How'd you rate your performance?
And he's just going to be cussing out John Obi Mikel.
Fucking shit. This is bullshit. I only get 50 minutes. My last start I scored. Now
I
I only
saw,
get 50 minutes today.
when João Pedro scored the other day, guys were saying John Obi Mikel might streak at this point. It just keeps going on.
I think, I think it's interesting for the players that stay at Chelsea. I don't know what I'm going with Felix and the rest of them, Sterling and the rest of them. I really don't even know what
time
to
for
say.
that.
Yo, the lap came in and he's already under pressure.
Yeah,
I thought the lap was a guaranteed starter. Now I'm like, maybe
and I think the lap's a good bit of business. I think whoever got the lap for, what was it, 30?
less, I think, something like that.
Yeah, maybe 25 or whatever, good bit of business. But it's interesting they signed the lap and then they just loaded up with JP. With Jackson still there.
JP's got them. And the thing about JP is we know, unfortunately,
he'll out dog. But actually, the lap's got dog.
No, JP's got dog, but unfortunately, we know JP's going to get injured and he's going to spend some time on the sidelines.
Yeah.
So that's the unfortunate thing. But JP, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be gassed with the mentality. Yo, the JP, there was like rumor announced. The very next day, I'm seeing JP budge people off the ball in training.
How JP's in the Club World Cup? He linked up there for like their quarterfinals on Friday. That's how quickly Chelsea got the business done. He's already out there in America.
Well, they announced JP. I saw the announcement of JP with JP budging Madueke off the ball in training. His very first game is a brace. Both we shot outside the box, screamers. I just think it's going to be a very funny year. I also don't really know if Maresca is capable of handling all of these players. And I said it last year, and they were able to shift some guys. But even still, I don't know if Maresca can really do... Like, if Jackson stays, he becomes a negative guy in the dressing room. Not a negative guy in the dressing room, maybe not to put that on his character, but like...
Yeah. Jackson's going to be sulking. We know that.
Jackson's going to be sulking. If Noni stays, Noni's going to be sulking. If Felix doesn't get on move, Felix is going to be sulking.
Sterling.
Yeah.
Although Sterling might just be happy to pick up his paycheck. Look, that's enough on Chelsea. All of that stuff we can touch on maybe a bit closer to with the season starting. But last team we're going to talk about. Sorry, Tottenham fans, you only signed Kudus today. Well done. Good player. Nothing more to say. But Man United, transfer business.
I think Man United are the only team that give me respite in the window, man. Like, anytime I'm so upset and I'm angry about Arsenal's business.
Yeah. Cunha announced, right? Agreed, good signing. Good bit of business for Man United. Paid the release clause, 62.5 million. You mentioned Saga earlier on Wirtz. You said somewhat Saga.
Yeah. Still going on.
This has been a month and a half, so I think this is official Saga territory.
It is.
Man United
when you
fans,
have I think when you have like 2 or 3 plus bids, you're in a saga.
Yeah, agreed. And Man United fans are crashing now about where is Mbeumo and why have we not matched their price.
I saw a tweet the other day. Someone was like, I saw a bald guy hop off the train and he looked like Barada, and he was like, I just thought, where's Mbeumo? I was just asking myself, where's Mbeumo?
So Mbeumo is still not done. Tottenham, I think Sammy Monkbell reported today they're interested in Wissa. Thomas Frank wants to bring his boy to Tottenham.
I think Wissa will go there as well.
And everyone's saying that they won't lose both. So Wissa goes.
No, they'll lose both.
Norgard's already jacked the price up. Wissa's going to go jack the price up more.
That's RIP to Brentford fans.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. If there was one team not to support this summer, it's Brentford.
Manager, captain, best player.
Two guys that got 19 plus.
Yeah. But you know what? They might, if they do accept a bid for Wissa, they might just say, fuck it, and Mbeumo, you stay. And fuck it, we'll lose you on a free next year. We've made money from Wissa and whoever else.
Yeah, we need you to keep us up.
Yeah.
And we'll just let you go for free because the money from staying up is worth your...
Which I'm on board with because it just shags Man United.
Should we just wait for Mbeumo then if we need a Saka backup and someone that can play?
But Mbeumo is too good to be a Saka backup, innit? Like, Mbeumo will cost evidently more than Madueke, and I'm not happy with the Madueke price. Yeah. And if you told me that we were spending 65, 70 on Mbeumo, I'm not sure I'd really call that good business.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Especially because he doesn't even really play left wing.
Yeah, at all. I think his whole game is killed out there. Like Elise almost. Yeah. You put those kind of Mahrez, you put those kind of guys on the left, their whole game is almost killed.
Kaput.
Yeah. But the biggest point on Man United that I wanted to talk about, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. free transfer. Rumours are picking up. Interest is picking up. Amorim has him on his list. 28 years old, Premier experience, can dovetail with Xerxes and Højlund. I think that'll actually be quite a good signing for Man United.
Nah, man.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Look, I love United misery. I love the pain.
Stephen Howson thinks it'll be a good signing.
I told you what I love most is Man United fans realizing how far away they are from the top 4 clubs. Yeah, everyone else is getting better, and you're in a terrible situation. But with all of that hate I have for Man United, even I'm like, DCL's a step too far. Like going into the season after just coming off a Højlund and Xerxes season where you were crying out for goals all season, grabbing DCL and running that back, keeping Højlund,
good business,
keeping Højlund and grabbing DCL to run that back. I think the only reason is because it really messes up the market. Man United fans just won't tune in, and if they don't tune in,
I saw Flex's video, and he was like, "If we sign DCL, that's a new level of taking the piss."
Yeah, I think new level. I know so many United fans. They support different teams now.
Yeah,
some of them don't watch football now.
Yeah,
and it's like I'm trying to banter them, and they don't know what's going on. Yeah. Oh, did he start on the weekend? I wasn't really paying attention. We just lose game after game. So now I kind of need to reel them back in to let them know, bro, you're still so far away.
DCL, good signing. Look at the player that Carlo got out of him.
That Carlo season as well, by the way, guys, we have to be honest about it. First of all, how many years ago was it? Carlo was like 4 or 5 years ago now, And
the player
even then, Carlo was on a madness. He bought Allen, he bought bad guys. James Rodriguez, he bought bad guys to the club.
Yeah.
DCL had a good year, but that was his only standout year. Every other year, I think DCL's got less than 7 goals.
Maybe he just needs the opportunity.
Man United should go for him for the banter, and like watching Man United fans lowering their standards, just watching DCL throw himself about and being like, well, he tries hard, at least he tries, at least he won that header. I think that would be funny, but my God, I couldn't tell you how bleak it would be. And as you say, we almost crashed out over Noni, who you all admit is a good player.
Yeah.
But if you're finishing 15th and everybody else is improving, and you're trying to snag in guys like DCL on a free, it's just the pits. It's just the pits. And I think that's the funny thing about Man United's window is honestly not knowing where it could go, and almost knowing that they're the vulnerable ones. Any deal that they agree for someone, European club, as in like anybody in the top 8 or 10 in the Premier League, can maybe match that.
Yeah.
Can I, match that price and have a more attractive project? And the only thing Man United will have would be the wages. And as it stands right now, with all the players that have to leave Man United, how much wages can they really promise someone?
Yeah. But I think DCL will go for 40 grand a week.
That's crazy.
He's going to go to Man United.
That is crazy. Look,
do you think in any universe DCL thought he'd play for Man United?
And not after leaving Everton on a free. And like almost being told, yeah, you can.
And I'm seeing United fans say that they don't make enough use of the free market agency.
Well, that was nasty. That was nasty from Howson. It's like,
so let them get DCL.
How far they've fallen.
But look, hopefully the DCL bomber comes soon as well, and we'll have something to talk about there.
What are the percentage chances you think of Mbeumo staying? Because I think now, I was very confident he was going to go to United. Very confident.
Yeah, same.
But as you say, as it gets on, maybe a month and a half in, and we're a 3rd or 4th bid in.
I just need to know how serious Tottenham are about Wirtz.
Because I think now it's like, I think Man United maybe had another 60 million to spend for Mbeumo. But I think when you start getting to 70 potentially 80 million, I don't actually know if that's available.
Yeah.
Plus the wages.
Especially that, like, United have got to be looking at it like we definitely have other business to do. I don't know how they can't not be looking at it like that, right? Like you say, we're almost crashing out about Noni. United fans are crashing out over just seeing Onana driving in his car up to Carrington. They want a goalkeeper. They haven't signed any centre backs. They haven't signed a midfield player.
They need a fullback as well. They need another fullback.
I think they need 2 midfield players.
And also, I'm not gonna lie, starting a season with Delict, calm.
Yeah.
The Socrates is there.
And DCL. But look, that's enough on that. MVPs and rookies of the week. Now, we haven't had a pod for a while.
Damn.
So it was actually difficult to kind of come up with some of these. But MVP. And
Zubimendi.
Well, I was going MVP is in the name. Shay.
No, have we not done a pod since?
Not since the finals.
Damn. Yeah, Shay has to get one.
So I had to give Shay one. Literal in the name MVP.
No, Shay has to get one. The OKC unit has to get one. They're all signing. I saw Chet Hogan sign the max, rookie extension, whatever it was, max rookie extension today. Yeah, there's a few MVPs. Then I feel as if I've got to give an MVP to the draft itself.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the NBA draft. Always good. Always good, entertainment, good comedy, good content to come out of the draft.
Cooper Flag.
We'll see what you got to say.
BJ Edgecombe. Arius Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
What was it? Kamal Malawat.
Yeah. The Flank and Nipple brothers.
Yeah.
There's some...
And Stephen A. If we're doing the draft.
MVP yeah. Hey,
Stephen A.'s commentary on the draft.
MVP
it ties everything together.
Brad Stevens avoiding that second apron expertly. That's very nicely done from Brad Stevens.
In through holiday out.
I was seeing they were saying, why hasn't Simmons been announced? Why hasn't Anthony Simmons been he's been on the? Is there another trade that's happening? Yeah, I'll give it to those guys. Tennis wise, man, shout out to my boy Novak into the semi-finals today. Alcaraz, Sinner, they're all there. Give them their respect, give them their love.
Lando Norris, not your boy.
Lando's my boy. I'm not as big a Lando hater as everybody else is.
Yeah.
So I'll give Lando an MVP. I'll give Christian Horner a rookie.
I saw, sacked
mid-season.
I'll give Brad Pitt an MVP. If you haven't seen the F1,
I need to go watch that movie.
If you haven't seen the F1 movie, go and watch it. It's a brilliant movie.
I need to go watch that movie.
Rookies. And the only one that I could actually, and this is mad, because of how long it's been, but the only one I could actually think of was the Chicago Bulls. I couldn't do a podcast and not give the Chicago Bulls a rookie for the way that they just trade away their best player for a Kit Kat every time.
A half-eaten sandwich.
They had Caruso, they had DeRozan,
Lonzo
they had
Ball.
Zach LaVine, they had Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
And none of them are there now.
Yeah.
And they've got Kevin Huerter and Josh Giddey.
They got nothing in return. They definitely deserve a rookie of the week. Who would I give a rookie of the week to? What's been happening out there? There's got to be someone.
Xabi Alonso?
No, I'll give it to Rodrigo.
Okay.
Oh, bro, the writing's on the wall, bro. I get it. It's it's the pinnacle of football. You think that if you leave from here, where do I go type vibes, or how far down do I go type vibes. But I'm telling you, man, if you're not starting for 5 games in the Club World Cup and the new manager's trying out his new system and he's not finding any minutes for you, you should be on your agent should have a more open stance than he has right now.
They're 3-0 down, and I still don't think he's on the pitch.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah, 100%. And hopefully that one materializes before the Noni bid gets accepted. But look, that's it from us. Thank you guys for listening. We've come back to do a filler pod on the transfer window and stuff. We'll probably take another 2 weeks off, and then we'll be back with some content leading up to the start of the Premier League season. Season 3 is kicked off on the pod. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know what you guys want to see from us this year, if there's any other top 10s or things that you want us to do. And look, football's back, and transfer window is well and truly alive. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Peace.